Hello, Gemini. My name is Paul, and this is Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask that you connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And if there is anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And the first card today is the Queen of Pentacles. This is a lovely card. It's quickly becoming my favorite card, right? This is kind of a turning point. This is a moment in time where you're about to shift into some new energy. You're about to kind of change positions from looking at the past to then looking at the future and taking that first step, right? So there's a lot of introspection that needs to take place right now, I think. Let's put all of this into some context. There's a Five of Cups, a Wheel of Fortune, Three of Cups, Five of Wands, Ace of Cups, Six of Wands, the Chariot, Three of Pentacles, and Five of Pentacles. Interesting that we have a 3 and a 3, and we have a 5, and a 5. And, well, you know, the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace kind of look similar, too. Well, let's select our mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And this is the card that we set aside. We'll put Jimbo, the Lizard King, a.k.a. Mr. Lizard, right there on top. And now, Gemini, we're not going to look at that card until the very end. Okay. And hopefully it'll tie everything together and give us the confirmation we need. If at any point during the reading you get an idea of what that card is, I want you to put your prediction in the comment section below. Okay, let's see if we can collectively raise our vibrations, tap into our intuition, and start discerning that mystery card together as kind of an exercise of our own intuition as a group, as a collective. Okay. But first, let's take a look around the room here. We do have some major arcana with these two. Two of my favorite major arcana cards. We've got fire here. We've got quite a bit of water, right? This water here is very interesting that it's kind of it's flowing in this horizontal direction. It seemed that there was some change that maybe is leading to some new opportunities here. Okay, what we don't have is any air energy. We don't have any swords, and then we've got our earth, and our earth here with the Queen of Pentacles. So it's kind of looking like with all of this water and with this earth here, I'm kind of feeling like it's a good time for you to start considering that kind of work and personal life, the kind of balance, you know? Because I feel like you're the type of person that is very, very sensitive to things. Like you're very aware of imbalances in your life, you know? And with the Queen of Pentacles here, I think it's really an important time for you to assess, appreciate, recapitulate the past, right? Let's look back at the last few years and see what you've done, what you've accomplished, how far you've come. Let's see the obstacles and the challenges that you've overcome. And let's distill all of that down to the kernels of wisdom, right? The little nuggets of experience that you can take into the future with you, right? Because the future seems like it's kind of a new start. We're beginning something new here with this Ace of Cups, okay? And this could be the new feeling of balance that we're achieving with this, our work and our, you know, kind of a professional and personal life balance, you know. I wonder if you're the type of person that lately, at least, you've been feeling like you're kind of always thinking about work, right? It doesn't have to be what you do for money. Whatever your kind of work is, whatever you're putting your energy into every day, it seems like it's kind of, it's all-encompassing. It's taking up a lot of your time, a lot of your emotional energy, I feel like. Okay? So we have a lot of the earth and water cards today. So it kind of leads me to this idea that we need to, we really need to sit, like this Queen of Pentacles is showing. We need to sit and really observe, feel, think, but not overthink, right? Maybe not so much of the intellectualizing. Let's feel ourselves, right? What's going on with you? How does your body feel, right? Do you have tension? Do you have headaches? Do you have digestive troubles? I kind of feel with all this water here too, especially this 5 of Cups, that you might be experiencing some digestive trouble recently. But I think you have a lot of emotional tension stored up in your body, okay? And I think that with this combination of cards, we really need to get this movement, right? Body movement and just body awareness, right? To try to free up some of this emotional tension, emotional energy. But I think a very good place to start would be to assess where you are now by kind of appreciating the past, right? By this retrospection, right? Let's see what we've accomplished already. Let's take that wisdom, let's project it onto the future and just get an idea of where we're going, right? Maybe that vision can become quite clear to you what your long-term goals are, okay? Because I think this is a turning point now where we not only learn from our achievements, but let's learn from our mistakes too. Right? Have we been living a life that is maybe a little out of balance? And if so, how can we take that wisdom and apply it to the future, right? That's what the Queen of Pentacles is all about. It's the turning point. It's how are we going to take what we've done in our history and project it onto our future. The good and the bad, right? Avoiding the same mistakes and then also trying to kind of duplicate the successes, right? Or even exceed those successes and achieve even more, right? Now, I feel like with this water energy that's coming through, especially this 5 is saying things are kind of changing, right? It could be what we've been doing in the past, a 3 of Cups, which is a very wonderful card. But this card could be a little bit too, let's say wrapped up in the general feeling, the kind of long-term, the overall vibe of things, rather than in the details, right? So when we get to a 5 of Cups here, and this is, I think, the energy that is right there with you right now. And this is kind of you not feeling the moment, right? It's kind of, we're almost avoiding the moment, but we're looking at the long term, right? The long term feels good, right? We're looking, maybe we're looking at the past with the 3 of Cups, right? And that's fine. That's what I think the Queen of Pentacles is supposed to be doing. But we need to use that to assess the present. Okay, so maybe the 3 of Cups in the past, which I think was a very, very abundant feeling, right, is a very, very connected, very pleasurable, like, time for you. I think that you've made a lot of accomplishments. I think that it's been a fairly happy time the last maybe couple of years, right? But with the 5 of Cups here in the middle, it's like we need to figure out why we don't feel that now and how we can get that in the future. Like, what's different now, right? And it seems to me in some ways that there's this balance that might be off, right? That maybe we're putting too much time in. We're getting a little burnt out maybe with the daily work. And we're trying to just cling to what we know can be wonderful in the future, but we're putting all of our hope in that future state rather than enjoying what we're doing in the moment. Does that make sense? And I think that we're changing that. I think the 5 of Cups is really, it's this idea that we are paying attention to what we're doing and how we're feeling right now, right? Not how we were feeling, not how we want to feel, but how we're feeling right now, not just emotionally, just physically too, with tension, with headaches, with if there is some kind of digestive trouble. Let's really be aware of what we're doing right now, right? Because your health really does come first. It really does. I think what we also have, because we have a lot of these fives, right? So I think emotionally we're looking to pay attention to what's taking place right now in the present moment, right? And then also we have the Five of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. So with the Five of Wands, I feel like we're really starting to pay attention to where our energy is going every day, right? Are we too wrapped up in our work or our projects or our professional life or your school life or whatever that kind of professional work is that you do? Are we putting all of our energy there, right? This is a very active card. And this is very good energy to have. This is very ambitious. It's very competitive. And this is, I think, what's taking us out of balance. See, we have the Five of Cups and the Five of Swords. In theory, this should be balanced, but I think because they're both fives, and they're opposite elements, there's some contention here. There's almost a disconnect between the let's say professional life and the personal life. Okay. And I think it's important that we assess this and we figure out the right kind of balance or the right kind of cycle. Maybe you're someone who kind of goes through intense periods of work and your projects kind of consume all of your time. And then, as we're kind of seeing with the Wheel of Fortune, things kind of spin back around again, and then you're focused on your home, on internal stuff, on your happiness and your pleasure and your kind of your daily internal domestic life or family life, whatever you want to call it. And then the cycle kind of goes around again and we find ourselves focused more externally. Okay. So I think with all of these fives, we really have to pay attention to the present moment. Okay. I feel like your daily routines have maybe lost some of their importance or some of their pleasure to you even, right? Because it seems like we are putting all of our energy into our kind of, our daily things, but we're just not enjoying it anymore. And maybe there's the idea that we're kind of disconnected from the long-term goals, right? Especially when we get to the Five of Pentacles. We have all these fives. And fives are really just things kind of being uncertain. The fives are a lot of energy going outward, right? Doesn't leave a lot left for us, internally. So there's a lot of energy going outward, but there's nothing coming in to balance that, okay? And I think that we are perhaps stressing out over that long-term goal. See, this card's in the position of the kind of final outcome or the long-term projection. So it's perhaps a stressor for you that the end result is a little bit uncertain. Maybe it's difficult when we're in our Queen of Pentacles mode to see what's in the future and to see it clearly and to understand how we're going to get there. So I think one of the main things that we've got to try to do right now is really get a clear idea of where we're headed and what our long-term goal is. And if we can figure that out, if we can kind of stabilize at least the long-term goal, then maybe we can stop with the other fives that are over here and this kind of stress that we're feeling with the daily activities, the short-term stuff, right? In the future, we've got the Ace of Cups. I think this is really a new way of you experiencing your daily life. And I think it's going to come through this kind of balance, right? We're almost streamlining, right? Streamlining our life generally, right? We're finding balance over here on the path of the serpent with the Six of Wands. We're maybe economizing our energy. We're understanding that we kind of work in cycles, right? That we might be very focused on that external professional type of world, and then it kind of comes back around and we're focused more on the internal stuff, self-work, spiritual growth, and personal development sort of things. But it could be that we're swinging between two extremes. So a Six of Wands might be really what we need, you know. And I think this is kind of the confidence and the certainty of the long-term goal. That's locked in. We know what we want, right? So now we can focus on just making the day-to-day stuff a little bit easier, a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more kind of economized, you know, so that we can have this Ace of Cups, so we can just enjoy the day-to-day a little bit, you know. I think that's important. We have the Chariot card here too, which is another thing that kind of tells me there might be some sort of, I'm feeling like some sort of issue around the abdomen, right? Stomach or something. Especially with the Chariot card here, I'm getting that kind of stomach thing. And I think a lot of that has to do with stress, right? And I think that's why it's important, like I said at the beginning, to pay attention to how your body feels. Do you have tension? Do you have aches and pains? Do you have some digestive issues? And to see if there might be a connection between that and your kind of like emotional stress. Yeah. This is the card of the environment. And so to me, with the Chariot card in the environment, it's a focus on how we're relating to the environment. And right now I think we're kind of stressed out about it. We're not feeling the love. It's kind of like we see our daily routines, we see our daily work and our responsibilities, our daily activities, and we get kind of a knot in our stomach when we think about it, right? So we have to be sensitive to that. We have to be able to reflect on that and understand what we were doing in the past that seems like it was working, why it's not working anymore, and how we can make it work in the future. Okay? And I think a large part is by listening to our bodies, by observing how we kind of feel when we think about the environment, you know, when we interact with our world, you know, how do we feel about that? Right? We have a Three of Pentacles here. This is in the position of what we don't want. And this is kind of the demands that are being placed on you. And we don't want that. We don't want a job, an environment, a world that needs all of our energy. That needs 100% of what we have. It leaves nothing left for ourselves, right? This is the commitment. This is usually like the blood, sweat, and tears that we'll put into a project because we want it that bad. Yeah. So this card is usually a very positive card, but it does have its shadow side too, because this can be draining. It's like you're understanding what is required of you. Right? The Three is all about understanding the process of creation on the physical plane. It's kind of like, especially when we're on the path of the serpent here, and we're looking at this, you understand what is required of you to reach your goal, and I think it's causing you some anxiety. Because it feels like the only way to get to the goal that we want, which I think currently we are not too certain about, it seems like it's kind of a moving target. It seems like it's going to take more than we're willing to give sometimes, right? And I think that's causing anxiety in the present, in the here and now. So if we can solidify this goal, if we can kind of make this a more stable energy, if we can maybe turn this into a Four of Pentacles or a Six of Pentacles, if we can stabilize this card, this energy, this future long-term goal, then I think we can start to economize, we can start to balance the energies, we can start to be more comfortable in the here and now, present moment. That makes sense. I think that's a large part of this work right now. But let's look at the mystery card and see what we can learn about the situation from here. So I really feel like it's a current anxiety that's caused by the uncertainty of the future goal. So I think if we kind of take care of that, then we're able to kind of streamline and economize, and we'll have enough energy to get through like our daily tasks, and we'll have a much better relationship with our path and with ourselves and with our experience of the world. And I think it won't be as stressful. We'll have more energy left over for ourselves to find more of a balance between the different areas of our life, right? And again, it doesn't have to be career, right? It's kind of an external-internal split, so focused on what we're doing out here that there's not much left over to be with yourself, to focus on maybe your spirituality or your inner growth, your development, right? Your spiritual evolution. But what is this mystery card? Well, I think it's going to have something to confirm the idea of the long-term goal, right? I feel like that is really the problem, I think, is that it's kind of a moving target, right? It's a 5 of Pentacles. We need something that's going to stabilize that. So maybe a 4 or a 6 of Pentacles is what I'm predicting here. Okay, let's see what we got. Well, no, it's a Knight of Pentacles, which to me is even better, because this is the card of having that spiritual vision to see clear. I always say this about the Knight of Pentacles. It's someone who can see in the just on the blank canvas. You can see what the picture will look like, right? You can look out over the land and you can see what you're building. You can see the final vision of it, right? So this is the clarity of what you're building in the future, what your long-term goal is. And with this card, it's a acute awareness that everything we do now and how we do it is creating that goal in the future. Every decision we make, every thought, word, or deed, right now in the present, my cat's here to confirm this too, is creating who we are in the future, right? So if we can lock down who we want to be, what we want to be, where we want to be, what we want our future to look like, then we can kind of reverse engineer it. We can bring in some of those swords cards that we don't have, which are the cards of planning and communicating and thinking and organizing, right? Then we can create a plan, streamlined, right, economized, and we don't have to worry about it so much. That makes sense? Because right now there's no air here. So I feel like there's not much of a plan. But if we can lock down that vision of what we want, reverse engineer it, work our way backwards, we can enjoy the present moment, every moment, right? We can enjoy it because we know that everything we're doing is taking us right to our goal. There's a little bit less stress anyway, okay? So I think this is a good confirmation card for us. We are going to look into an extended reading. If you want to join the channel, become a channel member, have access to the extended readings, click on the link that's in the corner here. I want to thank you, Gemini, for watching this video and for hitting the like button, leaving a comment, subscribe if you haven't yet. Okay. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and I hope you'll come back and see me again very, very soon.